From Moab, Utah, this is the Rubicon crew Moooooves in Moab, April 2026. After a hiatus of a few years, we joined the Rubicon crew at Moab again this year. Since the old days, we've changed campgrounds to Moab Rim. Though some of the crew had already been there for a week, others like us had just arrived. We decided to run an easy scenic trail on our first day of wheeling. Lost Mesa seemed to fit the bill. It has a couple of tougher climb sections. On one of the climbs, Marianne decided that her own four-wheel drive system was more to her liking than that of Bruce's Jeep. We had a great view of both window arches in the Arches National Park along the way. Then it was off to lunch at the top edge of the mesa. The views of the Red Cliffs Ranch, Castle Valley, and the Colorado River below were spectacular. Springtime flora and fauna were out and showing their stuff. We always enjoy seeing what nature has to offer. On our second day, we ran Cane Creek. Cane Creek is a trail that runs through the Cane Creek Canyon. The trail crosses or runs in the creek approximately 28 times before climbing out of the drainage at the southeast end. The climb out contains the infamous Hamburger Hill obstacle. As most of you know who wheel with me regularly, I love water crossings. I love them almost as much as mud, so that makes Cane Creek one of my all-time favorite trails. Just before lunch and after the last of the many water crossings, Wayne reported a squealing noise coming from the engine compartment on his new-to-him LJ. And no, it wasn't his exuberance with his new ride. The noise turned out to be caused by a disintegrated idler pulley on the belt system. After attempting a field repair, we decided to dead pull Wayne's Jeep back to the trailhead and then back to the campground. After approximately 56 now water crossings, we got Wayne back to camp. Cane Creek Trail ×2. Oh boy! The local constituents seemed to be utterly fascinated by our situation. They wanted to hear more. On the third day, with Wayne freshly repaired, we ran the Where Eagles Dare Trail. Starting at the south end of the Poison Spider Mesa Trail, this obstacle was one of the first we encountered. Shane tried the harder line right off the bat.
Maybe. Yeah, that works.
I should have got a picture.
Nice.
Then Eddie ran a line just to the left of where Shane had run. This unnamed obstacle a bit further down the trail provided some entertainment. And we all got to do a little flexing in the wedgie. And this was the scene at Launchpad.
Bend to the left just to keep it straight.
Then it was on to Eagle's Dare and one of my favorite little trail sections in all of Moab. After lunch near the Corona Arch, it was time for Phobia Hill. Thanks to Bart for the time lapse that captures the grandeur that is Moab. On the way back, on the Poison Spider Mesa Trail, we had our choice of 3 climbs. The one featured here is the most difficult of the 3. It was fun to watch the different tactics used by drivers to get up. Bob just needed to get his trips warmed up. Wayne was 11% better with his K-Spec stickies. Shane was his usual Captain Horsepower self on his 42s. And Eddie-O put his LS to work and launched on up. On our 4th day, we ran behind the rocks. Using the north entrance allowed us to run the gatekeeper obstacle near the highway. When we got there, the stock length yellow TJ on the right was already there. The guy was there in his new-to-him rig on 37s with regular rims, his daughter, and no accompanying rigs. He wanted to climb the wall that we climbed. Ultimately, he thought better of it and went around to the south entrance. Shortly after the initial climb, we took a detour on an out-and-back trail to the Took Arch. It was a bit of a hike up to the arch and back. So John brought us on a little hike here, and the arch is way up over there. And He said it was easy, just, little easy jaunt. We could probably jog it, he said.
I don't think I said that.
That's what I heard.
Maybe down.
But then you got to remember, I didn't hear that you said working for Bo 3 times either, so I might not be credible.
I don't have my readers.
View from behind the rocks.
I think that's about right. About 6 hours.
After the hike and lunch, it was almost 1 o'clock. So we ran the short version of the trail, which did include a look at the famous high dive obstacle and then climbing Upchuck. That is high dive on the right. And this is Upchuck. Hey, driver! Nice. The next day, it was on to Pritchett Canyon. This first scene is from Down and Dirty. We all chose to take the easier line on the right. The problem with that line is that one has to navigate next to a large boulder at the bottom. While working his way through, John got damage early when his transmission acted up at the most inopportune time. It glitched just about the time his right rear corner was in close proximity to the large boulder. Just a short distance up the trail, this was the scene at Chewy Hill. Throughout all my years of waiting to run Pritchett, the one thing I swore was that I would not run it in the rain. Yet, right when we got to Chewy Hill, it was raining cats and dogs for a short period of time. That made the top of the hill a bit slippery just about the time that we got on it. Fortunately, we made it up with no real issues. And thanks to all the guys for getting drenched while staying to be sure we got up the hill. The wet conditions made the trails interesting for a while after that. As we got to Rocker Knocker, things were starting to dry up. The first guys through flirted with the correct line, but just couldn't quite get into the proper groove to make it work. Several of the guys elected to use their winches to ensure no flops or rollovers. With only me and Shane behind him, Edio was finally able to make the traditional left line work without winching. And Shane was able to banish some of the previous demons from his head on this obstacle. He made it through on his own power without flopping. The last big obstacle was Rock Pile. Rock Pile is a formidable 12-foot wall. We opted for Son of Rock Pile to the right. While everyone else cleaned the climb, I duffed it and chose to be winched up. With my winching at Rock Pile, that left Edio in his Ben Verosa built LJ as the only rig to go through the trail without winching. Verosa rigs for the win. As we passed this group of cows, we were surmising about the transponders around their necks. One of us thought that it was a satellite-based system that the cows used to report activities from their location. You know, they are the cattle tails of the area. After a day off for us, we rejoined the group. We ran Rainbow Terrace, Pickle, took in the sights at Tusher Tunnel, and ended at Wipeout Hill. This obstacle is called Dill Pickle.
Nice.
And this is known as the Pickle Slicer. Then it was on to Jalapeno.
control arm there underneath?
Yeah, it might have gone except for that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It just hung him up.
In an interesting comparison, here is John running Wipeout on one day and Barb running the same line several days later.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Also, I did not plan this, but this clip shows how much John and I think alike on the trail.
Yep. Now turn driver.
As he was spotting Barb up there on the obstacle, I was just sitting in the seat, talking to myself.
Nope, nope, nope. Driver and back up. Driver and back up. Yep, driver and back up. More driver. More driver. Yep. Yep. Good. Straighten it out. Turn passenger. Stop right there. Passenger. Yep. Yep. That might work right there. Yep. Good. Go. Yep. Woo! Nicely done.
The next day it was on to Metal Masher. It was another rainy day, so most of the extra credit obstacles were left for another time. However, there was still some fun to be had. A little further up the trail, I came around a corner to find Randy a bit off camber. This little obstacle proved to be a bit challenging for the fellas, and the wet conditions did not help.
Lost your straddle of that concave hole on the where your rear is. Far left, yeah. About 2 feet
Apparently, these cows had heard the story of our adventures and were interested in our tale. The next day, the rain and the clouds were gone, and it was time to head out northeast of town to run Onion Creek and Rose Garden Hill.
What are they dragging? Heavily guarded. What is that wagon? War wagon. What is it for? War wagon. Loaded with gold room. Most men are fighting for a wagon full of gold. Scratching and fighting for a wagon.
By the time we caught up with this guy, he called bull on the whole story. I told him he didn't know the calf of it. Well, that about wraps up Moab 2026. We're really looking forward to seeing Kelly and Dan back next year. Thanks to John for leading the trails every day. And without his friendship, we would not have our Jeep or been anywhere near Moab this year. And who could forget our pets, Penny, Ruby, and Lucy, Hannah, Ethan, Mia and Brody, and Charlie. And at the expense of milking the length of this video, our trail buddies wanted to remind me to thank the video and photo contributors, Anne, Shane, Bart, Laura, John, and Barb. So until our paths cross again, you know the story. Keep the rubber side down, stay safe out there, and keep on having fun.
All men are fighting for, a struggling for, a searching for, a striving.